First of all, I would like to say thank you for the Slovak Institute, Budapest, and especially Ildiko is somewhere in the back. The director of the, yes, Ildiko, the director of Slovak Institute. I'm really happy that we have a long-term cooperation with the Institute and now also with Ildiko, and they were hosting Slovak guests of the L1danceFest, and they really wanted to have somebody to perform here in the gallery as well. So thank you for this. And thank you for the performance.
Thank you for invitation.
Can you tell us something how you work and what is your background and how should we imagine Eva's everyday life?
Okay. So I started as a rhythmic gymnast. So that's kind of my background. I did like 7 years. And then during the high school I started to dance different styles, from contemporary, from hip hop to ballet. And then I was lucky and I got to the Academy of Performing Arts in Prague, and there so I was kind of trying to find who I am as an artist, what's my essence, and I think I'm still searching for it. And my daily day, I don't know, I love to dance a lot, even though I think I'm more a choreographer, so I want to be like outside of the piece. So I dance a lot, but actually this piece, as it's written in the program, it's created for free dancers and I'm not dancing in it. But because I'm in the process and it's really intense, and I also create a lot of material for dancers, they create also, so we are trying to find a meeting point in the process. Which is not easy, because they're coming from different dance background. And yeah, that's it.
What was the turning point from being a gymnast to switch to dance?
Yeah, the training of a gymnast, it's really tough. And my coaches, they were like really tough. Also psychically and physically. Yeah, I got also like the operation of a meniscus, and that was the point when I said stop, and I always was interested in dance much more. So yeah, I think for me it was not actually because of the physicality of that sport, but the psychic, it was too much intense for me as a kid. So dance was much more joyful, much more freedom. Yeah.
Do you have any like directions or style which you are more interested in?
Yeah, recently I was interested in the Israeli contemporary scene, and I visited Israel a lot. And actually, I think it's happening in the dance world at the moment, that it's really strong, this Israeli wave. And now I decided, okay, let's open the doors more, because I feel like I like when the dancers have their own styles, and I think because of the globalization, now you come to dance class when there are people from all around the world, and everybody moves kind of the same, which is not bad, but I'm now interested more like how to discover new dance moves, or yeah, if I say it like this, new dance moves, new styles, or...
You mentioned the trio.
Yes.
Is it the same one you were talking about?
Yes.
That you were just arriving from the process. Can you tell me more about how you met with your dancers? Because you started to tell me the story, and I think it's really interesting.
So I wanted to work with dancers who are having background in the Israeli dance. And in Prague, there are still no dancers who really experience it. So then I was like, okay, I will risk it, and I'm gonna put on Instagram, I'm searching for dancers. And dancers sent me like a CVs, and then I found these 2 great dancers, which I want to make this as a duo. And I want the girls to be like a sisterhood, like that's the meeting for women. If we want to like break some boundaries, we will need to like do it together. So I found 2 dancers who know each other for 12 years, and so it's they have really the connection.
Did they apply together, or?
No, one of them applied, and then I asked her if she knows somebody that they could create this sisterhood together. And she said, yes, my friend, actually. So that's it.
When is the premiere and where?
It's in Prague on the 26th of September, if you want to come.
Pretty soon.
It's pretty soon, yes.
I would like to open up the possibility also for you, if you have anything to share with Eva, or questions, or just feel free.
What you showed tonight, are there excerpts from this new piece?
Yes. Because it's I don't know how you saw it, because like I'm working with the duo. But actually I was a long time alone in the studio before I met them, so I was kind of discovering the scenes, but through improvisation. And there are some scenes that are exactly like kind of the last one, which is more like really composed of the music, and it's much more about this meeting point between the music and aesthetics, actually. So it's kind of the same, but there are two dancers and each of them do a little bit something different, but also these, like, I call it like the dolls. It's also kind of composed with the music. So actually you saw all the scenes. There is one scene which we still didn't create it, but was here also today. So actually I showed all of the scenes, but they might look different when you see them in a trio, because when I was in the beginning walking, there's another dancer, which is there in the beginning, then a little bit in middle, and then in the end with them. So.
And do you plan to perform it in theater?
Yes, it's in theater.
Anybody else?
What's the difference for you to work in some unconventional spaces like this, like a gallery, or work in a theater, as you say? Like,
I guess it's harder, because it was for me really hard to see your eyes. And that's one of the ideas that I want to work in the choreography, but I'm still deciding if there's going to be light on the audience during the piece or not. Because anyway, you can feel the faces, maybe they're not really focusing on your eyes. Also, like, I don't know, the dance floor is different. I do not like my dancers be jumping on this, and I want to really like the jumps really high and powerful. And this light creates magic, so there is some illusion that you can work. So yeah, it's not easy because if the piece would be created for this gallery, then it would be different. But yeah, it's harder. It's harder. It was not easy.
Then maybe if nobody wants to add something, I would like to ask you about because you will come back.
Yes.
To Budapest, and if you could tell some words about why and how it
So I applied, there is a Central European Dance Theater, and there was an open call. Actually, I didn't know about the open call, but I wanted to do the internship there, and they told me there is no possibility, but I can apply for Young Choreographers Evening, and I did it, and I was chosen. So I'm going to come in November, and I'm going to create a piece for 8 dancers.
Can you choose the dancers, or is it a company?
I don't know. I think no. I don't know. No, I cannot. I wrote that with what kind of dancers I would like to work, but no, there's gonna be also students from the school, like a few of them. So it's gonna be from the company, from the school, and it's gonna be evening of 2 choreographers, of young choreographers.
And will you work on the same theme,
No.
like extended, or totally different?
Totally different.
So you will create with them.
I will create with them. It's gonna be on them. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And if you can just give a little hint, how do you work with other artists? Because somehow I feel, but tell me if you think differently. But watching you dancing, somehow for me it's so obvious that you are dancing it. I hardly can imagine that anybody else would do it, even a well-educated dancer. So I'm interested in what is the process when you go into the studio and you know that you will be not on stage, but you have to somehow feed your artist with this, what you are.
Yeah, because last year I worked with the kids from conservatory in Prague, And those kids, they do a lot of ballet and Graham and Limon, and there is not much improvisation class or creative classes. And I came, so I knew like I will have to create a material and really compose it by myself and teach them the movement, but then I got really tired and it for me was really, I couldn't do it. So I give them as tasks, let's create together, and they were not really able to do it. And I really learned that, I have to be really careful with what kind of people I work, because then it can turn to totally else when I put the movement on them. So this time, I decided that I really want to work with the dancers. Actually, it's gonna be that idea that I want to create I'm the kind of person that share everything. It's not good always to tell my creative idea, but I want to work really now. It's gonna be like a dance topic. Like each dancer has something really specific, and we should discover it. So I want to really see their personalities, or who they are, which kind of styles they're connected, or so this is gonna be kind of first time that I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So afterwards we should talk again.
Yes, yes.
And when do you train yourself, or
yes?
What is your everyday practice?
I mean,
how do you keep your body so powerful and alive?
Since I finished with rhythmic gymnastics, I always like to take all the styles. I just love it. I just love to move. It's just something that I have to do, because then I'm stressed and anxious. I need to put this energy out. And in the school, in the Academy of Performing Arts, we're having contemporary, classical ballet, and now in one company which do more like physical theater, so there's a lot of improvisation and creative tasks. I do a lot of workshops if I can, and yoga, and I just open internet every day and I see there's something and I go, so.
Because now some of us have seen that you could be also a great walker.
Maybe.
You were entertaining us in the class today and yesterday.
Can I have a question for
Yes.
you? Because we met 2 years ago in residency in Alta, right? And I was kind of starting to discover this, like who I am as a choreographer or art or dancer in the same point. And I don't know, I was thinking these days, because I'm here, you invited me, and I feel like what's changed, or how you see it, like when you saw me there? Yeah, there and now, like, or in spring in...
Well, just by seeing what we have seen now and what I have seen, but they didn't that time, I think these were two different kind of processes. I felt, what is the same is this very powerful something what wants to come out from you, and as a piece I still don't know, because that time I have seen part of the creation process, even if in Bratislava I have seen a version of the final work, and here this is also special, so I cannot tell you as a choreographer how far did you get, and maybe it's also not my task to judge, but I still very much enjoy you on stage, so I can't wait how you will work with 8 people, and what can you bring out from them, how you can, because it's really tricky as a choreographer to, especially if you are also a performer, how to feel them, their personalities, and how to give yourself into the whole process. And it's also challenging, as far as I know, it's not a long period to spend together. So even if the dancers are like qualified, but they are also different, and so good luck for this. But I hope that you will find at least some of them who can really vibrate with your intention, because it would be very nice to see. And maybe that I can share with you that though you were experiencing a lot of different styles, and as you also mentioned, this Gaga-ish way of moving with the body is also somewhere there visible, but still I was not able to put your movement in a bracket, or I was not able to categorize this. And I think that's important if you want to be a creator as well, not just a dancer. I mean, okay, being a dancer is also enough, and that just is just. But to be a creator, it's also important, I think, to have something unique, and you have this. So I cross my fingers for you to be able to share it with the others as well. And yes, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for the performance. I really enjoyed it. I think it was amazing work, and I really enjoyed this unrestricted, unrestrained energy that you have, which you still somehow really control on a very high level. So it's really visible. So I also had the same thought that I actually it's very hard for me now to imagine like this piece with other dancers than you. So like you were so convincing and so strong that it's really hard to imagine. And the playfulness is really fantastic. So it's really nice.
Can I ask?
Yes, sure.
It's also work in progress. So if you can tell me some observations, it can be like, oh, I like that movement, or I didn't understand that, or there is some image to remember.
For me, maybe the most memorable part was when you were very low and something was happening with the hands around the feet. So that was maybe the most unique version, like that was like burned in my mind. Especially this very low one. There was some unusual usage of the space, and I like that very much.
I just have a question. So I was wondering about the background of the dancers, of these two dancers that you work together with. I mean, you have a super diverse background with all the different sort of styles and practices and whatnot. And this piece that you showed almost looked like it was written for you, because all these different skills just came up wonderfully in it. So besides this fascination toward like Israeli dancers, do they have a similar background? And if not, how can you sort of like direct them or work together with them if they have a different background? If they don't have a background in gymnastics or in some of the styles that you showed as a dancer?
Yes, they did ballet, and it's really like common, I think, training for people in my age. You do ballet, Graham Limo, and then you discover more like improvisation, creation, and you go different workshops. They're actually very skilled. And the meeting, for me, it's not the movement. They can do movement really good, but it's for me like this intention, or more like, because anyway, still my generation was educated in the positions and kind of in the forms, and there is just like we need to a little bit break this like freedom, so the energy from the body can travel more in the space. And the other kind of issue was the scene on the ground, which you saw, because it's having a really different flow than the dance. Dance has a like kind of flow, which is the steps are connected and you go, and here it's more of these cuts and more about the intention and how you can keep it, even though for them they don't feeling like dancing, they told me. So, and actually, yes, I'm watching it, it's boring and I don't know what to do, and it's good, but let's try this. And I'm also now, I was researching what is it for me, like how I discovered this scene and how I can tell them what to do. Because movement-wise, they are also really amazing dancers. They can jump, they can do small movements, different styles, but it's more about this, as a different style bring different mindset. If I can say, we need to start to how we change this mindset, because the second scene is like dancing, really dancing, and they are much more connected to it. So, and the third dancer, she did a lot of floor work, really heavy floor work, and I'm creating material actually just on her. I'm taking her as she is, and we're together creating, because I really want her. She's really masculine, and yeah, she can show this strong Lilith, like a powerful woman. So I'm using what she really has. With the two other dancers, we're trying to meeting point, but it's happening, but still, we're not sure. We will see. Upcoming weeks, yes.
Okay, so we have to keep an eye on you at the end of September in
Yes.
Prague.
Yes.
And then in November here in Budapest. And then you let us know.
I'll let you know.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you for the invitation. I feel it really symbolic dancing in the Slovak Institute. like my upcoming choreography, and I'm finishing my master, so yeah. I'm very happy.
And some of us will continue to the next venue, which is the Bakalit Multi-Art Center, where Agnes will introduce Books on the Move, a traveling bookstore with great dance books. If you haven't had the chance until now to check it, please come over there and have a look. And then from 8 p.m. we have a Czech artist and then a Finnish artist to close L1danceFest, which celebrated its 18th year anniversary, and hopefully we'll continue. And let's have a glass of wine at the end of the day. So come over. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.